Hey guys, welcome back. I've got this silly poem, this tongue twister pulled up again. I thought you might want to try to read it. Yeah, I'm going to read it one time, but then I was going to say you should pause and you should try to read it and see if your mouth gets messed up like mine does. She sells seashells, poem. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells that she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells on the seashore, I'm sure that the shells are seashore shells. I'm getting better. Okay, so that's that poem, remember? That's about Mary Anning that was written about her and the seashells that she was selling down by the shore. Great. Today we are going to look at our learning target. And today's learning target says, I can answer questions about important events from the book, Stone Girl, Bone Girl. So today we're going to do a close read aloud of the first 4 pages. And when we closely read aloud, we slow way down and we really examine the text and the pictures to try to take as much as we can in. And then afterward, we're going to go back and look at those multiple choice questions again and see what we can do there. Okay, so this learning target is asking us to answer questions about what happens in the book. So let's go straight over to Stone Girl, Bone Girl, and let's look at just the specific pages today. Here we go. Okay, so this was the first page of Stone Girl, Bone Girl. When Mary Anning was a baby, she was struck by lightning. It split a huge elm tree and threw Mary right out of her nurse's arms. Her father was in his carpenter's shop when he heard the terrible news. He dropped his hammer and ran through the stormy streets of Lyme Regis. Gently, he lifted the limp body of his little daughter, and his tears flowed like rain. But then an extraordinary thing happened. Mary Anning slowly opened her eyes. What does extraordinary mean? Yeah, it means special, not ordinary. It was extraordinary that her eyes opened after being struck by lightning, because I'm sure no one thought she was going to survive. She reached out a tiny hand and touched the amazed face of her father, and the little girl began to smile. It was then that her father realized Mary Anning was no ordinary girl. Why did Mary Anning's father think that she was no ordinary girl? Yeah, right. She survived a lightning strike. That's a big deal. Let's look at the picture on the next page. The years rolled by like waves. Mary grew into a clever girl, a mind as quick as lightning, her mother teased. Mary had few friends. What did Mary have? Few friends. How many friends is few? 3? Not very many. Mary had few friends except her father, whom she adored. How did Mary feel about her father? She adored him. Like everyone else in the town, she called him Pepper because of his speckled beard. One Saturday, Pepper closed his workshop early. He took Mary down to the cliffs by the crashing sea. She held tightly to his hand because she knew how dangerous it could be. The clay cliffs at Lyme Regis are soft as melting chocolate. Mary had sometimes seen huge slabs of land slipping and tumbling to the beach below. Pepper had stories of whole fields on the cliff tops which had disappeared beneath the feet of grazing cattle. He knew a place, he said, where half a farmhouse sat balanced on the cliff edge. He and his quarryman friend had peered over and seen the remains of the kitchen and even the garden gate smashed to splinters on the rocks below. So what was slipping and tumbling? Pieces of land, rocks, parts of the cliff, lots of dirt in the ground. It said the clay cliffs were soft as melting chocolate. What do you know about melted chocolate? Yeah, it's not solid, it's soft. Why would the author want to compare the cliffs to melted chocolate? Well, I think he wanted the reader to understand that the cliffs were soft and messy too. Yeah. So now that we've done a closer read of this, I think I'm beginning to understand why Mary Anning's life had some challenges in it. Let's think about some of the challenges that she had in her life and how she responded. So she had the lightning strike when she was a baby, and she overcame that challenge. And then she had few friends, but she just continued to push on. And she had her dad, and they had these terrible natural disasters here in this story already. But as we know, we've read this story already, she's going to continue to push on. So this is kind of showing us what her character is like. She's not giving up. She's going to keep doing good things and what she wants to do. Now, today, we are going to talk about strategies one more time for when we answer selected response questions or multiple choice questions, whatever you call them, in text. So let's come back to our chart where we talk about those strategies. Remember these strategies. These are really important when you're answering multiple choice and selected response questions. You don't want to be too quick to choose a response, because if you are, chances are you might not have thought about all of the options, and you might pick one that's sort of right or mostly right, but there might be one hidden in there that's even more right than the one you picked. So let's look at some of these strategies again. One strategy, you can read that question, cover up all the choices, and think about your answer. And then go through and read the choices and see if one of them is the one you were thinking. That's probably the right answer. Another one you need to do is read through each answer and then kind of replay what happened in the text. And think, is that the right one? Is that exactly what happened? And go through all of them, because one might be sort of what happened, but there might be one in there that's even more what happened. You're trying to pick the best choice. Remember, eliminate or cross out any of those that are not it. When you read one and you go, no, that's not it, get rid of it, okay? Use the details to choose the best answer and click on it. And then something else that's not on this chart that we're going to get to, sometimes there will be an option that says like all of these choices. And then you got to go, whoa, I hadn't thought of that. Maybe all of these are right. Sometimes you'll see an option that says none of these choices. And that means that all of those choices they've given you are wrong. You're not going to run into that today, but we're going to get really good. We're going to really get skilled at answering these multiple choice questions. So right now, I'm going to have you go on over to the Google form. There's just one question there, and make sure you get it right. Make sure you read all those choices and use these strategies, okay? And I will see you back next time. Bye.